I'm James Blanco, and I'm joined by my co-host, Daniel Teller.
Hey everyone.
Today's episode, we are going to be doing another movie review right before the Oscars that are this Sunday. And today's episode, we're going to be reviewing One Battle After Another, starring Leonardo DiCaprio.
One more
And
like one disappointment after another.
yeah. So this is going to be an interesting episode. Let's get to it.
This is Director's Talk Film.
So this movie, and I'm just going to start it off, spoiler warning, that we're going to go over the entire film. So if you haven't watched it, please go watch it. So
Or don't.
Or don't.
or don't.
It's up to you. This movie, first impressions. Yeah, this movie was not my cup of tea.
Yeah, mine neither. They could have cut an entire hour out of this film, and I think that it would have been significantly better.
2.5 hours, 2 hours and 40 plus
45 minutes.
minutes.
Like, it was ridiculously long slog.
Yeah, first impressions are not good. The first 30 minutes of it, I had to pause it and go do something else because it was
almost
hard to watch.
Turned it off. I almost went like, no, we can watch any other movie than this. We don't need to review this, but no, I stuck with it. It did get more entertaining afterwards, but
I agree with that statement. It did get a little better.
I'm not sure who this movie was for. What kills me is it's like it is critically acclaimed. Its Rotten Tomatoes score was what is it? It's something like 97%.
Something like that. 95 or higher, I thought.
Yeah.
But
Google it
so
quick.
while you look that up, if you want to look that up, so really, like, again, going through each category, how we go through the film. We have first impressions, themes, writing, direction, performances, cinematography, sound, and audio. And I mean, I'm going to start with the first one, which is themes.
Yeah. So wait,
go ahead.
It was 94% critic score and 85% positive viewer score.
Whoa. Who
I have never met
film?
anybody that likes this film. I asked a bunch of people that I know, and it was pretty much unanimous that nobody enjoyed this film. So I don't get it.
I don't get it either. Like, I mean, I saw all the great reviews. Everyone, this is being pushed for Oscars. All these things, right?
The trailer made it look really good too. Like the trailer made it look like it was a comedy. It was.
I thought it was kind of comedic drama. It'd be a little funny, but
like it's like they
very
tried to make comedy, but it didn't land. It just didn't land. It was like it was there, but it didn't. I don't know. I didn't land.
But before we keep ripping it, I just want to tell anyone that's listening, look, it's a great cast. I think a lot of the actors are wonderful. I'm just gonna say it right now, a lot of the actors are great. I really like a lot of the actors in this movie. I was amazed at the cast. I recognized several people. I mean, they're not super big names, but other characters you recognize. I liked a lot of the cast, but when I watched the movie, it just didn't feel like anything blended very well. Right. Does that make sense?
It meandered. It
meandered
a lot. Like it was the first 30 minutes was something completely different, and then
the story happens. Then the movie actually starts.
Right, and it had almost nothing. Like, I mean, I guess it had a lot to do with the movie, but it could have not been there. Right.
Right.
It was like. It was unnecessary. I don't know. It was
the thing that I'm going back on theme though. The only thing that stuck out to me the entire film, and I am ruining part of the movie if you've not watched it, is this only thing that stuck out to me was that this movie was about fatherhood. That's literally the only thing I took from this movie. Is that it doesn't matter who your father is if they're biological or not. That is the only thing I took from this movie. There's so many more elements of that. Literally that's and that might be the only thing that the writer wanted to say. I mean,
Well, so this movie is based on a book. Fair warning. It is
uh,
based on
I did not know that.
an old novel called Vineland.
Mm,
It's
I'm
a,
gonna recognize
I
it.
guess it was a 1990 novel that was kind of based on a similar premise, right? Where
Mm,
this guy, he was like an old hippie and he was very much in like the leftist movements and things like that. Yada yada yada. However, I didn't really feel like it landed. It almost felt like I don't know who, like, like, not that I want to talk about politics, but the movie was very political to start with, but it felt almost like a caricature of politics, right?
right. That's kind
It
of how
was
I felt. That's
so over the
exactly.
top on both
Yeah.
sides. Like,
It
I
was
know
very over the top.
it started out very liberal, and I think that's kind of why people are liking the film. They're attached to it because their politics is very much relevant right
Today's
now.
culture. Yeah,
But
it's in today's culture.
it was too over the top. I felt like it was beyond what would be normal on both sides. The rebellion people were ridiculously. It almost felt like it was kind of like what an extreme right wing person views an extreme left wing person to be instead of how they actually are, and
That's a
vice
very good
versa.
point.
The
That's a good framing. I like
Right.
that. That's a
The
very good
super
point.
right wing people in the movie felt like caricatures of what left wing people feel like super right wing people are, and I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't. Who is this movie for? I don't understand it. It
I
was
didn't understand it.
bizarre. Once it got into it, whenever it's well, we'll get into more of the writing stuff, but I felt like kind of once it got into it, I wasn't. It was still kind of boring. I didn't really latch
But
on. I
see, but
didn't really
that comes
care
to
what
your
was
point though.
happening.
When you told me after the first 30 minutes, you're like, it gets a little better. The story starts to get better. And you're right. I think the writing does better right after we see the first mess of the 30 minutes. And I actually enjoyed part of it, or learning the characters, learning what this movie's kind of about. It it felt as if our main character, who is a hippie freedom fighter, always stoned, who's played by Leonardo DiCaprio, I felt like his life is such a mess in his mind, but that's how the movie was.
Right.
It was just his life is such a mess, and then everything around him is a mess.
Yeah.
And everyone is knows everybody in this little town. They're all together. I find that very interesting. This whole little town is like a little community, and it like watches out for everybody. And then the whole part of the story where he's looking for his daughter, his sensei is also what, like a human mule smuggling. Like
Right. There
I
was
was
too
confused, but
much. The characters didn't land. Anyway, I could go on and on about it. We
yeah,
should
sorry.
dive into the actual review.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. I'm going off topic again. I think themes. I'm scoring this between me and you. I know we both get up to 10.
Well,
I'm
for
gonna
themes, we're not going to score it. We should mention it, right?
okay.
The themes for this movie were really much like fatherhood. What would you do for your kid? At least this is what I'm trying to pull out, right? Like
Yeah,
it was kind of a little bit vague too, right? Like, but I think that was really the main theme is like, fatherhood. At what lengths would you go to save your child?
right. And I agree with that. Coming onto the writing, I'm just gonna go out of the bat and say that to me the writing was out of 10. I'm gonna give it a 5.
Well, it was all over the place, right? So
Yeah.
the writing was like like the first 30 minutes was so cringy. The dialogue just killed me. The things that the actors were doing were so over the top, and it felt highly unrealistic. I don't really see how it was relevant to the story much at all. I feel like there could have been a different way that they conveyed that the main villain was again, spoilers, the main villain was actually the girl's father versus Leo. Like
Right.
I don't even remember the characters' names, if I'm being perfectly honest with you.
Lockjaw. The villain's last name was Lockjaw, which is very over the top too.
Right.
Like
And
his character, it was
it kills
very
me.
weird.
Paul Thomas Anderson is like, I love most of his movies. They're great. One of my favorite movies, There Will Be Blood, is
That's
Paul Thomas Anderson.
that's what
And
he's known for.
and again, I mean, that movie's kind of, I mean, it was very similar, like where the writing was a little bit weird and the pacing was odd, but it worked. And in this, I really didn't think it worked. The
You know,
dialogue was cringy.
I'm gonna mention though the writing. I might jumping ahead and I apologize. I felt like this movie was trying to be, and I hate to say it, people don't hate me. I felt like this movie was trying to be like Wes Anderson.
No, I disagree.
When I say that, how it's kind of changed and like his style. I felt like he was trying to make his style in this, and it just didn't land. That's just what I meant by
Not
style.
Wes Anderson. Well, like
You know how he
writing
has
style, because a Wes
writing.
Anderson film is vastly different, right? Like Wes Anderson's very big on like dry humor.
Right.
He'll make funny situations, but they know what they're doing, right? They kind of, I don't know.
That's my point.
It's totally different.
I felt like this was trying to be something like that. Like the way that the comedy was inserted, I felt like it was trying to be its own unique thing. That's why I brought that part up.
Yeah, like
I felt like it. But again, maybe I'm wrong.
like
I don't know.
It was trying to be comedic, but it wasn't. The comedic timing didn't land. There were funny bits that could have been funny, like he comes out of his house in the house coat, and for the rest of the movie he's wearing this house coat. It could have been funny, but it just wasn't. And yeah, I don't know. The writing just, I don't know. The second half, whenever it kind of gets going and they're chasing the girl and all that, it was definitely more entertaining at that point. But yeah, I don't know.
So what do you grade it?
Writing, I think I'd have to give it I'd give it a 5. It wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen, but it definitely wasn't. I'm going to bring that down to a 4.
Oh,
it wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen, but it definitely wasn't that good.
okay. Now, what do you think of the direction of the film?
The direction wasn't as bad as the writing. I think, like, directing wise, the scenes were well played out. They were well directed. I thought some of the acting was fairly decent. It didn't bother me as much. As far as the directing goes, God, I think I might give that a 6.
Okay.
There were some really bad choices, like like the first 30 minutes of the film should have been changed entirely. In fact, the first hour of the film I think could have been completely done differently. Because the first 30 minutes was the past,
setup of the story. It was just a setup of the daughter, right? Like how the daughter.
The next 30 minutes, nothing else happened either. Like nothing was happening for the first hour of the film, and it was just kind of like,
yeah.
I feel like there were some bad choices. What about you? What would you give directing?
I'm gonna have to agree with you. I think a 6 as well. There were things that I liked. There were things I didn't like. But overall, I thought it was a little better. Yeah, that's a tough one. It's a big tough one. I don't know. I mean, the meat of it that I really want to get into is performances and cinematography. Those are all my favorite ones.
Cinematography was pretty good, and the performances were decent.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, well, all right. What's next? What do we got?
Performances.
Oh, performances next. All right, perfect.
Yeah, that's why that's why I jumped into it.
Yeah, I mean, I like Leo for the most part. I think he's a great actor. I think Sean Penn is a great actor. I thought Sean Penn did terrible in this movie. He was, I hated his character so much. He was just he made no sense, right? He stood for one thing and then was totally different, and then he had no redeeming qualities. I mean, I guess he's the villain, so he shouldn't, but it was too over the top for me. I thought he wasn't a good villain at all. Like, you want your villain to kind of be one step ahead of you and this and that, but he wasn't.
But his villain was very confusing. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely, because the villain didn't know what he wanted. He wanted one thing, and then he would do the complete opposite, right?
Yeah. I think and that comes back to he's torn with his moral dilemma of him being, which in my mind, that general person character who's supposed to be, stop the bad guys.
Well, I think it was, they could have, and maybe this goes back to the writing, but I feel like there was a better way to convey him, right? Because he's obviously supposed to be a take on, a very right-wing person that is more closeted in their beliefs, and so they double down on making sure that no one can have those beliefs, right?
Right.
I mean, obviously he really likes the black woman from the beginning, right? Like he
Right.
was in love with her, and then later he joins
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
society where they are entirely racist and they want to
Yeah.
cleanse, everyone of other races and white people, and it's like, but I mean, you see that a lot in people, but the way that he acted it out and the way that he was written, just kind of it didn't land. I didn't feel the connection that I should have felt to the villain, right? Like I know
Right.
villains are bad, but
Yeah, you said it right.
good villains are not quite as bad. They're not just completely black and white like, oh, this is evil guy, It's not a good villain. I didn't feel like he had much characterization. And then the way that Sean Penn acted him, I don't know. I didn't care for his performance.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was confused by his character the entire movie. Everything and choices he did, I was like, huh? Like, and the biggest thing that confused me is like, you learn that he's going after and looking for his daughter. That you don't know is his daughter. He's just going after her. And then the reveal is, oh, we think that might be his daughter. And they tease it, right? They're growing that tease. He goes to the high school, he does all these things, he hires a what was it? A military, not a military, contract force to go out and help him. It was so confusing. I actually didn't get that he got a team to go out there. I thought that was just the law enforcement just joining him because he's the boss. Like
Right.
that didn't make sense to me at all.
That didn't even cross my mind until right now when you're saying it. But also the other question I have is like, why didn't he just kill her?
Yeah.
He didn't need to know if it was his daughter or not, right? Because the whole point was if it was his daughter, well, that's going to affect him joining the stupidest named
the racist
cult I've ever
white
heard.
people
What was
group.
it?
Yeah.
The Christmas cult? I don't know, whatever.
Yeah,
But
I don't remember what it was.
but yeah, like why wouldn't he, if he's this hardened military guy that, is willing to go to the lengths that he needs to go to prevent whatever, he needs to do to get his way, why doesn't he just kill her straight out?
Yeah. But
What,
his mission is to find out if that's his daughter.
Right, and then he
The
finds out
mission
his
is not-
daughter. I mean, I
but
guess I see
That's
it.
the whole mission is him trying to figure it out because he believes it in his heart or whatever. He's like, I know you're my daughter, dude.
I guess
And
I take
then-
it back because he did let her
Yeah.
kind of go in the end. I don't know.
Yeah.
It fell flat. Like I don't know. I didn't like him as a villain. I didn't like that it was Sean Penn. Nothing about it I enjoyed. It was bad. I did like Leo, and I liked
where I was
the
gonna
girl
go
that played
to.
the daughter as well, and of course Benicio del Toro. They were great. I really enjoyed them. I loved all the action.
They had the most
scenes.
screen time, in my opinion. I mean, Leo, Benicio, and I think the daughter actress, what's her name? Chase Infinity. I think that's her name. Yeah, Chase Infinity. I thought their performances were great. I really liked their characters. I enjoyed watching them. I did not like them. I thought Leo's character was very different than what I've seen him actually play, in a lot of films, right? And his character is just, to me, he was just scatterbrain all over the place.
Which
and
I
the
think was
whole
point, right?
Right, and that is exactly the point. They created it. He created it very well, and I don't know if I liked it though. Like I get that's what he was going for, but I don't know if I
think
joined that journey with him.
It could have been better. Right? I felt so disconnected from all the characters that I think that was part of the problem. Is I couldn't. There was nothing that I could relate to anybody with to enjoy those characters.
Yeah.
But the performances I think were fine. I just think it was the writing was bad. What would you rate the performances in the film?
That's tough. I mean, you're hitting me hard.
Signed up for this. Now you got to.
I know. What do I think performances? If I had to give a performance, and even though I don't like Sean Penn, and I'm thinking holistically as the whole cast, right? Because I think there was a lot of great actors. I think there are a lot of even first time actors, right, that were in this. I think they did a great job. Even though I'm unhappy with the movie, I'm gonna say you're not gonna like this. I'm gonna give it a 7.
Oh, I was gonna give it a 7 too.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, cool.
So I do like that because that's also my answer.
Oh, that's kind of funny. I did not know you were going to copy me.
I almost went to 8, but I was like, no, there was some weird stuff. It loses a point because the whole
Yeah.
opening scene. I didn't like anybody in the beginning scene.
The opening scene was just confusing to me. I thought that the point of the film was going to be that whole thing, and then
Right.
it
And it
wasn't
wasn't.
that. Like the trailer made it out to be. I get that he was looking for his daughter. That I got from the trailer, but I thought it was like the CIA and him trying to do something
Right.
with the CIA. Had
Right.
nothing to do with the CIA. The trailer made me think that with all those code words and you got
Yeah.
to know, the
There's some
code.
weird underground like
Like Rebel Network.
rebel
It's a Rebel
group.
Network.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a Rebel Network, and I thought it was all about, like, CIA spy stuff, and that was
Which I
not at
would have
all what
been
I
better. I would have enjoyed that
I
better.
think that would have been better, like, maybe he was an undercover, like, CIA, and he got roped into loving like, the story
That's
might have
what I
been a little
thought
bit.
it was from the trailer, but
That's
I
exactly
guess
what I
but
thought.
it's based on a book that has a similar premise. But I mean, that's neither here nor
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah, again,
What
but
what
see,
about
agreed, we thought it could be better.
yeah. What about the cinematography?
I have problems with the cinematography.
Pray tell.
The reason why I have problems is some shots are great, but I felt like, again, and this is probably because of the way that the main character is and the way that the story is designed to be, it was just all over the freaking place. And it was so hard to follow sometimes. There were some really cool shots, like these one shotters that I thought were really neat. There was a lot of long takes between Leo going into the house with his sensei and then going in this freaking room and all these people. Like we're following his journey, and then there's all these other characters and you're learning about the whole backstory of the sensei, and I felt like I had more questions in the cinematography that weren't answered
Yeah.
because you're seeing all these things happen and I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on there? You kind of learn it, right? You learn about this because the military talks about, oh, this town is blah blah blah, you got to watch out for everybody. But I'm like, I don't know, I just Some
Well,
some was good, some was bad. I mean, some shots were kind of cool. I mean, when I say cinematography, I'm thinking like framing, the way they filmed it,
lighting. There,
lighting, yeah, like
well,
everything.
there were some interesting things about the film, and I think that this also kind of plays into why it may be Oscar nominated and why it may be more critically acclaimed. So the cinematographer was Michael Bayman, however you pronounce his name. Um, they shot the whole movie on 35 millimeter VistaVision format, which is an older, like 1950s film stock, right?
That's what I was about to
Which
ask next.
has been kind of lost in time. People aren't shooting on that
Mm,
anymore. It's kind of this vintage look. So that's kind of what gave the film this weird vintage kind of vibe to it, right? Because it was
yeah.
very warm. The footage was very warm. It was kind of gritty. I mean, it fit the subject matter, I feel like. And so shooting on that, I felt that it made it more interesting than if they were to shoot this on digital. For sure, it gave it a lot more warmth and life to the footage or the film. But
So it was on film stock.
it was on film stock.
That makes more sense because it was super grainy.
Yep.
I felt not a lot of the uh, outside shots when, especially around the woods or the house and stuff. I was like, why is this so grainy?
Yep.
I was wondering that. I mean, we're so used to digital now, crisp,
Exactly.
clean. That's the problem. But that's kind of, I did not know that it was made with that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a super cool format. If anyone's interested, you look it up. It's like it's different because let me pull up something for it too. Like it runs horizontally instead of vertically, so you have a much larger negative. Like there's a bunch of weird differences to it that's not normal film. VistaVision, look it up.
Mm,
Um,
interesting.
but
I
yeah,
mean, I
like
know the cinematographer works with
it's the
Paul
same
Thomas
guy he
Anderson.
always works with. I'm
Yeah, it's
pretty
his
sure.
friend. It's his, yeah. That's how it is in the industry. You got a friend you work with, like me and you. We work together
Yep.
on everything we do. Let's work together.
But yeah, as far as like if we're looking at lighting and framing and things like that, um, I will say though I did enjoy the fact that it didn't look like it was shot on like a green screen. So one of the biggest problems I
Mm.
have with a lot of blockbuster films is they're shot on green screen, and because of that lighting choices, they basically just flat the film out. It's just a wash of light in a green room. There's no character to the lighting, nothing. And then in post, they like fix it up and make it kind of look like there's some like lighting tricks to it. But it always looks terrible, I think. I don't think it looks very good. But this had a lot more depth to it and stuff that I'm not used to seeing whenever, I go to see a movie. This kind of stuff feels, I mean, I guess it's kind of coming back. When we did Sinners, same thing, right? They had a lot
Right.
of weird lighting tricks where they were shooting in the environment
Mhm.
rather than using lights. Well, they weren't doing that here, but well, I mean, I guess they did some of it here. But the lighting I thought was a lot more. It felt a lot better than what I've come to see when I go to the film. The film stock I thought added a lot of value to the cinematography. Um, the
So
angles
overall,
and
you
shots
liked
and
it.
things.
So you liked it then.
Yeah,
You liked the
I
film
didn't
stock and the
dislike the
camera choice.
cinematography. Like I had some complaints. Like I felt like maybe some of the shots weren't great, but nothing stood out to me as this is bad cinematography, right? Um, I thought
So
that whatever,
kudos to the cinematographer.
right? I thought whatever he was doing aided to the theme of the movie and the flow of the movie, the action scenes. I thought the action scenes were very well done, especially the car scenes at the end when they were like
Oh
driving
yeah,
through the hills. Like there was a
that
lot of
was
cool
pretty
stuff that
cool.
I thought that they
That's
were
true. That
doing.
was pretty cool stuff. I did like the last scene at the very end. I'm ruining it. The car chase scene with the daughter, and she stops right over the hill,
Oh yeah.
gets out. What
Well,
That's one thing. Let me. I'm sorry. I'm going to come back to performance because I just thought of something. Is I liked her character because she was trained up. She learned everything from her father. She knew everything from her father. Like he didn't keep any secret from her, which I thought was
well,
interesting.
he kept a lot of secrets
Except,
from her, except
well,
for
okay, that's
her
true.
mom and everything that was
Everything
going
else,
on, and
but
yada
he
yada.
trained her up essentially. Like he got her like black
Yeah.
belt, weapons proficiency. You could tell she knew exactly what she was doing.
Yep.
And I loved that at the last scene where she gets out, you know, waits for the guy, says the code word. That is something I did like, the whole code word thing. My dad told me if anyone ever said that to trust him with my life.
I just love when Leo came up and he's like, I don't remember.
Yeah, like he just like, I don't remember. He's like, what's the time of day? Like, I don't freaking remember. Tell me, give
I
me,
just I
he
wish
was
that they
so
would have
mad.
made it more of a comedic moment. It felt too serious.
Yeah. Because he was trying to,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
But
back on
yeah.
the road thing though, like I mean, if you've ever driven, like I swear that I have driven on that exact road before. Like it looks like straight out of like New Mexico or like
I
I
was
know
going to ask that
they shot some of
location.
this in El Paso. I thought they'd shot it in New Mexico, but I don't think they did. I think it was only shot in El Paso and then California.
Hmm.
But like those roads like that, you cannot see anything. You come across the top of that road, whatever's there, you will immediately hit it.
You,
There's no way you can avoid it because you just can't see it on those kinds of hills. So I loved that idea that they did that because of, oh yeah, this is pretty real. Like
hmm.
I've hit stuff in the road that you can't see whenever you crest that hill, right?
Yeah. I
But
just liked that scene because the effect of making it go, oh, like, oh crap, I'm about to hit the car, like
yep.
I liked that near the end. It was really nice. It was a good sum up to the movie. The second villain of the movie was kind of eh. When I say second, the guy in the car who's supposed to go and kill
Oh
her.
yeah, he just like comes out of nowhere and it's like, what is this guy doing here? And
His
then
character didn't make sense to me because
right.
it's that group of racist white powerful men, and he's like, okay, we need your help. Are you gonna take care of this for us? We
It
want
felt
to
so
take it.
forced.
It did. It
And
just,
then the same thing like after he brought the girl when he captures the girl and brings it to that other guy and he drives off and takes to the other group and then he changes his mind and goes back and kills everyone. I'm like,
oh
but
yeah,
why?
that other
Like
guy
yeah, I'm like,
just had a
why?
change
Like
of heart when he was
there's
like, oh no, they're gonna kill her.
there's
It's like
so
every other
many
person you've given them to.
yeah.
Don't do that. Like, is this a new moral choice? Like my first day on the job,
Yeah, I don't
like,
know. Anyway, that's neither here nor that's writing. Cinematography. I would give it
mm,
I think I'd give it a 7. It
7.
didn't
Okay.
stand out enough to me to warrant an 8, but I thought like the choice of the VistaVision and some of the other ways that it was shot and filmed, I thought yeah, I'll give it a 7.
I'm
I
getting
thought
a
it was pretty decent.
6.5.
Those points.
I know, 6.5. That's what I'm giving it. I mean,
then I'm going to give it a 7.2.
oh,
No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Don't write that down.
I'm not. Coming to the next one, sound design and audio. What do you think of the sound design?
So I'm torn to whether I hated the music or I thought that it was unique. It felt like it was mostly like they gave it, I don't know who did the music, but it felt like they gave it to some jazz piano guy and just said, improvise the whole film. And he just had like 3 keys and he's just like, bloop, 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 and it's like over and over and over and over again. I'm like, I don't know if this is doing the movie any benefits. Like it's definitely adding tension because I was already stressed by listening to this music because it was driving
would that be
me
the
insane.
composer?
Yeah.
Let's see. Composer is Johnny Greenwood.
Oh, so it was the guy from Radiohead.
And he does There Will Be Blood, Phantom Thread,
and I love Johnny. All right, so let me be clear here. I love Radiohead. They're one of my favorite bands. I loved the music in There Would Be Blood. This drove me up the walls, right? But at the same time, I'm like, was it a genius choice to do this music, or was it annoying, right? Like I'm torn as to what to give it. Because it was very effective, I thought, at what it did, right? It made me nervous the whole damn time, right? I was constantly on edge because the music made me uncomfortable.
And that's maybe the point of the story, is to make you on edge because our main character's on edge, right? He's high, he's stoned, he's edgy. That's the whole part. He's trying to find his daughter. He's on this journey. Someone's out to get him.
Yep.
You know, like that might be the whole, craft of what he wanted to do.
I mean, yeah, maybe.
But you're saying that it was effective to you, but the question is, did you like it?
I definitely didn't like the music, but
okay.
But I think I don't know. The more I talk about it, I'm like, I guess it did do the things that I think that it was there to do and was effective at it, right? It did make me uncomfortable. I absolutely remember the music after this film. It'll be with me in my nightmares for the next 3 weeks, right?
So
it was a weird experimental thing, and it makes sense it's Johnny Greenwood because that's all he does. I don't know if you've ever listened to Radiohead.
No, I haven't.
They were a very
I listen to Radiohead. I mean,
band.
Yeah, I mean, I liked their music. I like the songs they've made. I have nothing against the musician composer person. I just think the choice to the film was a little odd, but maybe it was on purpose.
Right. I'm going to lean towards it's probably more on purpose.
It's probably on purpose. Did it work for me? No. Did it work for someone else?
Uncomfortable.
It did, but maybe that's the goal. Maybe it
did
won
work
because I was very on edge and uncomfortable. I felt like I was high in the movie the whole time, even though I wasn't high.
Maybe we should have been. Maybe that's
I know.
problem.
Maybe we should have been. We probably would have loved it.
I don't know. I may have hated it more if I was. I may have just fallen asleep and turned it off because I couldn't get through
2.5 hours. I felt the timing was long, but man, sound design. I'm gonna go ahead and give that.
We talked about music. We didn't talk about sound design.
Oh, that's right. We talked.
Maybe
about
that's
music.
the problem. Is it was so unnotable that I didn't recognize. There was nothing wrong with the sound, but nothing really stood out to me either.
Yeah, I'm not. It didn't hit me. Like coming back to Sinners, right?
Yeah.
That just music, sound, the elements of between everything blended. I think that did really good, obviously, because we talked about it. But this it was smaller, it was lower. Everything was, I wouldn't say toned down, but the film's pacing was toned down to the design, and only really impactful to some motion here and there throughout the chase, through some of the. Was there any shooting? Yeah, a couple at the beginning, bombs and stuff.
There was a lot of shooting.
There was a lot of shooting. Nothing about it. It's okay. It was all right. I have nothing against it. Nothing that came out stuck out to me. But I'm gonna give the whole sound and audio I'm gonna give it a 7.
I'm gonna give it an 8.
Okay.
I did a little bit more research. I pulled up some stuff real quick, and that was the entire point of the music, right? The unsettling arrangements, the unsettling rhythms and textures.
So it was effective.
Is specifically there to build tension and to drive the stress of the film, which I thought was very effective. Actually, I'm gonna give it a 9. No, I'm not. No. I'm gonna give it an 8.
We'll leave. Okay, we'll leave it.
There wasn't. I mean, yeah, because if I give it a 9, then what's a 10, right? Like it's got to be really good. 8's already high up there, and I thought the music was. Again, I hated it, but I thought it was effective, right? But I guess the point is I was supposed to hate it because it made me uncomfortable.
Yeah, looking at the eyes of the filmmaker of what did you take, right? And that's another thing too. Just coming to the film, it's easy to say, "Oh, I hated the movie." Like
Right.
I didn't like it.
Why didn't we like it?
Right? And the fact that the director is a very good director. He's won an Academy Award. For There Will Be Blood. I believe he won the Academy Award.
Pretty sure. At least Daniel Day-Lewis won.
I know he did. I could be wrong. Apologies if I'm wrong. But either way, acclaimed director. He's done some good work. Hell, he's done better than me.
That is true.
They've all done better than me. But overall, I mean, it's just a different movie. It was different for me. I just don't understand why this is getting the acclaim that it is. I don't know. It's just
I can, like I said, I feel like I can see why. I can see why, right? It's very politically out there. A lot of the review, a lot of people are kind of aligned with the political views from the beginning throughout. The way that the cinematography was shot, I think, adds a lot of acclaim.
Very unique.
I go back to the music. As much as I hated it, I can see why. Like, it was effective. It did the thing that it sought after to do.
Right.
I can see why it was nominated. Is it my best picture of the year? Absolutely not. But I understand it, right? I understand why it's where it is, right?
Yeah. I'm on another episode. I want to go over films that were snubbed. Like I want to go through some of those films that were snubbed that I think could have been in this best picture category.
There's so many. There's so many we still haven't watched.
I know. This category for this year is big. It's a lot. I don't remember it being this many.
Big, yeah.
I don't think so either. I was listening to or read an article that all of the international festivals, all the people who've won best picture or best film and stuff, none of them were nominated at the Oscars this year. All of the ones internationally, like I think it was the Palma, the lion, the gold lion statue from Palma. What is it?
I do not know.
What is it? I'm gonna butcher this. At the Cannes Film Festival, there's like the highest prize winner, which is they call it the golden lion because it's a golden lion with wings. Yeah. And all of the people who have won it have not been nominated in the Oscars, or at least this year. I could butcher that, but it's very interesting. Like all these other films are doing really well, but then the Oscars are not, snubs.
A lot of the Oscars are kind of based on pay to win.
Oh, that's another topic we need to get into. That's a whole other topic.
There's a lot of weird politics that go into the Oscars.
I have a big one from last year, but we can do it in another episode.
Yeah.
Of the one that won.
What is our total for the movie?
That's what I was just about to total up right now, actually. Let me get that real quick. So we have... Let's see. What do we have? All right, guys, I'm turning this up manually. 6.
Math. It's too late.
I know. Just tell ChatGPT. Math for me.
Math it.
Math it for me. Man. Okay, so if we sum this up, so well, that's not right. Oh yeah, that is right. I'm reading it, going, that doesn't sound right. I'm like, no, it's math. It's right. Okay, so the total between us is we are grading it a 63.5.
It's not as bad as I thought it would be.
Yeah, between the two of us, 32, 31 and a half. Average total score, not average, sorry, of 100 points that we graded on this. 63.5. Okay. I mean, Rotten Tomatoes had a higher score, obviously, but
Again, it's not a movie I think I would ever watch again.
yeah, I don't think
And
I
I
would either.
struggled to get through it, but I don't regret watching it. It's not like I got done and went like, God, I just wasted my time. There were some things that
That's
I
a whole
enjoyed.
episode of movies that I'm going to say in another episode of all the movies I watched that were terrible that I should have never watched. That's another episode.
Yep.
All
Will I
right.
watch this
Well,
movie again? Absolutely not. Does it deserve to win an Oscar? Probably not, but I can see where there's some merit.
that's the thing I was going to say next is I do not think that this film will win Best Picture. I also don't think anyone on the acting side will win any acting. I don't think
No.
anyone's going to win on
Were
this.
they even nominated? I don't even know if they were nominated.
I think the Leo was, and I think who else was? I don't have it logged in. Yeah.
So it was nominated for 13 Oscars: Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor, Best Supporting Actress,
several.
Best Adapted Screenplay.
That's right. It was adapted.
It was also nominated for cinematography, editing, sound, and production design.
So all the above.
Yeah, all of the above. It was nominated for everything.
Wow.
I could see where it could possibly win for cinematography and sound.
So
editing.
Benicio and Sean Penn are up for Best Supporting. And then
didn't really do anything, and Sean Penn was, I don't know.
And then I think so. There's Jacob Elordi from Frankenstein, Delroy Lindo, who's in Sinners. Delroy, I think, is going to win.
I hope so.
From Sinners, that's just my opinion. And actress in a leading, so we don't have anyone from this movie nominated. Supporting actress and supporting role. What about Teyana Taylor? She was nominated, which is interesting that the leading role was not. Oh, that's kind of interesting.
Who did she play?
She played the
lady at the beginning.
Yeah, I mean the first 30 minutes. That's her character was the first 30 minutes. The rest of the movie was
everyone else.
Yeah,
I didn't enjoy her performance at all.
Well, this is also her first, I think, acting role because she's like a musician.
Right. She's
yeah, and that was like a big deal. Which, hats off to her. But anywho, yeah, that's our rating. That's our review. Whether you liked it, you liked the movie or not, that's where we are. And we got the Oscars coming up on the 15th, and we have another review coming out as well. So we hope you enjoyed this episode. Again, my name's James Blanco, Directors Talk Film. My co-host, Daniel Teller.
This is Directors Talk Film.